Here we go again. President Trump reigniting the push to dump high-level nuclear waste in our backyard with a request for money to restart Yucca Mountain.
The president including $116 million to restart the Yucca Mountain project in his new budget just released earlier today.
News 3's Steve Wolford is looking into this funding request.
Well, as expected, the pushback has been hard and loud from Yucca Mountain opponents from Carson City all the way to Washington, D.C. According to the White House, the president's 2020 budget plan includes nearly $32 billion for the Department of Energy, including more than $100 million to restart the Yucca Mountain licensing process and advance the administration's commitment to interim nuclear waste storage. Congresswoman Dina Titus told me this afternoon she's not overly concerned this version of the president's budget will be approved, but she and other members of the Nevada delegation aren't taking chances.
With Yucca Mountain, you can never let down your guard, so we fight it at every step. Probably there won't be a budget, and if there is one, it'll get changed a lot by members of the House, all up and down.
Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak also shot back hard, issuing a statement that says in part, President Trump's request to restart the process for turning Yucca Mountain into a nuclear waste dump is yet another example of the federal government ignoring the will of Nevadans. The White House says President Trump is committed to safe nuclear waste management, but Congresswoman Titus says there are other ways to decide how and where to store it.
I have introduced a bill that calls for consent, so we need to start that siting process over and have local and state governments who want to take it.
And in a recent interview with our Jeff Gillen, former Senator Harry Reid said the Yucca Mountain issue needs to go away once and for all.
The Department of Energy should understand we've already wasted $7 billion. Yucca Mountain. Do we want to start over again? There's nothing out there other than a hole in this wall.
Again, it's worth mentioning President Trump's budget proposal with the Yucca Mountain funding is just that, a proposal. Typically, a president's budget is pretty much dead on arrival before it even reaches the doorsteps of the House, especially when the opposing party has the majority. So stay tuned. I'm Steve Wolford. Marie.
And we certainly will, Steve. Thank you so much for that report. You know, funding for Yucca Mountain isn't the only controversial item in the president's budget. So are billions of dollars to build a southern border wall. We will look into his spending proposal coming up in about 10 minutes on News 3.